"Master Dick," said Bennet, "come hither and pull me a good pull upon the arrow. He would fain pass, the poor sinner." Dick laid down his crossbow, and pulling hard upon the arrow, drew it forth. A gush of blood followed. The old archer scrambled half upon his feet, called once upon the name of God, and then fell dead. Hatch, upon his knees among the cabbages, prayed fervently for the welfare of the passing spirit. But even as he prayed, it was plain that his mind was still divided, and he kept ever an eye upon the corner of the wood from which the shot had come. When he had done, he got to his feet again, drew off one of his mailed gauntlets, and wiped his pale face, which was all wet with terror. "Ay," he said, "it'll be my turn next." "Who hath done this, Bennet?" Richard asked, still holding the arrow in his hand. "Nay, the saints know," said Hatch. "Here are a good 20 Christian souls that we have hunted out of house and holding, he and I. He has paid his shot, poor shrew, nor will it be long, mayhap, ere I pay mine. Sir Daniel driveth over hard." "This is a strange shaft," said the lad, looking at the arrow in his hand. "Ay, by my faith!" cried Bennet. "Black, and black feathered. Here is an ill favoured shaft, by my sooth; for black, they say, bodes burial. And here be words written. Wipe the blood away. What read ye?" "Appleyard from John Amendal," read Shelton. "What should this betoken?" "Nay, I like it not," returned the retainer, shaking his head. "John Amendal. Here is a rogue's name for those that be up in the world. But why stand we here to make a mark? Take him by the knees, good Master Shelton, while I lift him by the shoulders, and let us lay him in his house. This will be a rare shog to poor Sir Oliver. He will turn paper colour. He will pray like a windmill." They took up the old archer and carried him between them into his house, where he had dwelt alone, and there they laid him on the floor, out of regard for the mattress, and sought, at best they might, to straighten and compose his limbs. Appleyard's house was clean and bare. There was a bed with a blue cover, a cupboard, a great chest, a pair of joint stools, a hinged table in the chimney corner, and hung upon the wall the old soldier's armoury of bows and defensive armour. Hatch began to look about him curiously. "Nick had money," he said. "He may have had 60 pounds put by. I would I could light upon it. When ye lose an old friend, Master Richard, the best consolation is to heir him. See now this chest. I would go a mighty wager there is a bushel of gold therein. He had a strong hand to get, and a hard hand to keep withal, had Appleyard the archer. Now may God rest his spirit. Near 80 year he was afoot and about, and ever getting. But now he's on the broad of his back, poor shrew, and no more lacketh. And if his chattels come to a good friend, he would be merrier, methinks, in heaven." "Come, Hatch," said Dick. "Respect his stone blind eyes. Would ye rob the man before his body? Nay, he would walk." Hatch made several signs of the cross. But by this time his natural complexion had returned, and he was not easily to be dashed from any purpose. It would have gone hard with the chest had not the gate sounded, and presently after the door of the house opened and admitted a tall, portly, ruddy, black-eyed man of near 50, in a surplice and black robe. "Appleyard," the newcomer was saying, as he entered, but he stopped dead. "Ave Maria!" he cried. "Saints be our shield! What cheer is this?" "Cold cheer with Appleyard, Sir Parson," answered Hatch with perfect cheerfulness. "Shot at his own door, and alighteth even now at purgatory gates. Ay, there, if tales be true, he shall lack neither coal nor candle." Sir Oliver groped his way to a joint stool and sat down upon it, sick and white. "This is a judgment! Oh, a great stroke!" he sobbed, and rattled off a leash of prayers. Hatch meanwhile reverently doffed his sallet and knelt down. "Ay, Bennet," said the priest, somewhat recovering. "And what may this be? What enemy hath done this?" "Here, Sir Oliver, is the arrow. See, it is written upon with words," said Dick. "Nay," cried the priest, "this is a foul hearing. John Amend All, a right Lollardy word, and black of hue as for an omen. Sirs, this knave arrow likes me not, but it importeth rather to take counsel. Who should this be? Bethink you, Bennet. Of so many black ill willers, which should he be that doth so heartily outface us? Simnel? I do much question it. The Walsinghams? Nay, they are not yet so broken, and they still think to have the law over us when times change. There was Simon Malmesbury, too. How think ye, Bennet?" "What think ye, sir?" returned Hatch. "Of Ellis Duckworth." "Nay, Bennet, never. Nay, not he," said the priest. "There cometh never any rising, Bennet, from below. So all judicious chroniclers concord in their opinion. But rebellion travelleth ever downward from above. And when Dick, Tom, and Harry take them to their bills, look ever narrowly to see what lord is profited thereby. Now, Sir Daniel, having once more joined him to the Queen's party, is in ill odour with the Yorkist lords. Thence, Bennet, comes the blow, by what procuring I yet seek, but therein lies the nerve of this discomfiture." "An it please you, Sir Oliver," said Bennet, "the axles are so hot in this country that I have long been smelling fire. So did this poor sinner, Appleyard. And, by your leave, men's spirits are so foully inclined to all of us that it needs neither York nor Lancaster to spur them on. Hear my plain thoughts. You, that are a clerk, and Sir Daniel, that sails on any wind, ye have taken many men's goods, and beaten and hanged not a few. Ye are called to count for this. In the end, I wot not how, ye have ever the uppermost at law, and ye think all patched. But give me leave, Sir Oliver, the man that ye have dispossessed and beaten is but the angrier. And some day, when the black devil is by, he will up with his bow and clout me a yard of arrow through your inwards." "Nay, Bennet, y' are in the wrong. Bennet, ye should be glad to be corrected," said Sir Oliver. "Y' are a prater, Bennet, a talker, a babbler. Your mouth is wider than your 2 ears. Mend it, Bennet, mend it." "Nay, I say no more. Have it as ye list," said the retainer. The priest now rose from the stool, and from the writing case that hung about his neck took forth wax and a taper, and a flint and steel. With these he sealed up the chest and the cupboard with Sir Daniel's arms, Hatch looking on disconsolate, and then the whole party proceeded, somewhat timorously, to sally from the house and get to horse. "'Tis time we were on the road, Sir Oliver," said Hatch, as he held the priest's stirrup while he mounted. "Ay, but, Bennet, things are changed," returned the parson. "There is now no Appleyard, rest his soul, to keep the garrison. I shall keep you, Bennet. I must have a good man to rest me on in this day of black arrows. The arrow that flieth by day, saith the Evangel. I have no mind of the context. Nay, I am a sluggard priest. I am too deep in men's affairs. Well, let us ride forth, Master Hatch. The jackman should be at the church by now." So they rode forward down the road, with the wind after them, blowing the tails of the parson's cloak, and behind them, as they went, clouds began to arise and blot out the sinking sun. They had passed 3 of the scattered houses that make up Tunstall hamlet, when, coming to a turn, they saw the church before them. 10 or a dozen houses clustered immediately round it, but to the back the churchyard was next the meadows. At the lych gate near a score of men were gathered, some in the saddle, some standing by their horses' heads. They were variously armed and mounted, some with spears, some with bills, some with bows, and some bestriding plough horses, still splashed with the mire of the furrow. For these were the very dregs of the country, and all the better men and the fair equipments were already with Sir Daniel in the field.